Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look at the Soulforge, tell you what I think is good and bad in there. I'm going to show you a really cool new Mythic Raid Boss team and an Underspire team too. But first of all, let's take a look at this weekly event troop, the Green Hag. Like a green pickaxe with that nose. Goodness me, look at that thing. Anyway, let's see what if she's any good or not. Convert all gems of a chosen colour to a poison gems, then eliminate magic +1 points of a random skill from a random enemy. That's actually really good. Poison gems are green, so effectively convert all the gems of a chosen colour to green with the effect of poison. So really useful when a team uses green a lot, as well as you could have bonus effects like if they kill someone, if they're poisoned, that could come in useful as well. But so that's really good. Convert all gems. That is the main part of this, like not like a convert blue to green and red to yellow or something. Convert all gems of a chosen color. There's normally something there which we're gonna work with that, so that's really good. So all enemies lose 2 random skill points. Meh. Jinx half enemy gem masteries, that's really good. And mana shield immune to mana burn, mana drain, and mana steal is very nice as well. But that's actually a really strong troop. The fact that it's all gems, you can't actually quote that enough, makes a massive difference. So I'll give that a very solid 7 or 8 out of 10. I'll give it a benefit of the doubt and say that's a really good 8 out of 10, because that's going to work really, really well with some teams. So get as many as you can, get it to mythic level if you can spare the glory. Anyway, I was out for dinner last night with a blind date, and I really enjoyed it. She even suggested we should have dinner again, which was nice, but I was really full up, so I declined. What the heck? Oh my goodness, that one tickled me. Anyway, Soulforge time. Let's look at the weapons first. Don't get this from here, get it from the Raid Boss shop. Much better to get it from there because you have to spend your hard-earned diamonds to get it from here and other stuff too. And from the Raid Boss shop, you buy it with gems and kind of get it free in a kind of way because you get all the event sigils and stuff like that too. But it is the Miasmic Dirk. Gives magic +1 attack and life to all Darkstone allies, then bless them. Yeah, it's alright. Not probably going to use it very much, but hey, it's there. It's another weapon. Other weapons is good. Dark Sword. Deal magic-based damage to the first enemy. Deal triple damage if they use yellow mana. So obviously effective against yellow teams. Triple damage can be good. Can be a significant increase if you're a newer player to the game without doing too much damage initially. But yeah, very situational and kind of early player kind of stuff. It was fun in the early stages of the game when you were relying on that kind of weapon to make a difference. Blood Drinker. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy and steal half their attack. So damage to an enemy and halve their attack and give it to yourself, basically. Taking away their attack. So damage from skulls is decreased by them, and your skull damage is increased significantly. Because obviously if they have a lot of attack, and you're a newer player to the game, for example, then you can increase your attack significantly. Doomed Runestones. Give magic +1 life to all allies with a +2 per tempering level boost. And give 5 mana to all other allies. Not yourself, everyone else. If the enemy has a doom, give 4 more mana. Probably won't count. This was like doomed weapon, and it's very rare you see a doom in the game anymore. In normal battles. And give 2 magic to all allies for each brown enemy. So effective against a all brown team at the same time. But not really a fan of these ones that give life. Most of the time you're fighting enemies that do more damage than that. You're kind of fighting a losing battle. You get to cast this against the damage they do. Chances are they're doing a lot more damage than you're giving life. So yeah, not a fan. More collectible for me, those kind of ones. Idol of Darkstone. Remove all purple gems with no effect, just taken away as if they didn't exist, because purple is the gem colour that Darkstone allies like the most. So by taking them away, in theory, you're making it harder for them to collect their mana. Then deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by the amount of gems removed. If the enemy is from Darkstone, if the battle is in a Darkstone, deal double damage. Just say it most times though, these are very cheap to craft, these kind of weapons, even if you think you're not going to use them. So they're worth picking up because it gives you another weapon to get to the fully leveled up position, which means it can help your power level kingdoms, which is cool. Chalice of Eyes. Cleanse and give magic +1 life to all allies and summon a all-seeing eye troop. More of a hindrance than anything, but it is a good one because it does have enchanting as well, which means when you cast it, it becomes enchanted, collects 2 mana every round, which means it gets ready to do it again. If the enemy doesn't sort you out quick enough, you give yourself and all allies even more life. So it can be a bit of an irritant on defense teams, for example, and the summon is rather useful as well. Screaming Tome, doing a face like people doing their coffees these days on that little trendy thing which lasted about 2 days. Does damage to an enemy boosted by Darkstone allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and purple gems for each Darkstone ally. So damage with a boost, uses green and yellow to get charged, creates blue and purple. So make sure you got at least a couple of troops on your team from Darkstone that use purple or blue. Simple as that. Lovely chubbly. The Athame of Shadows. Deal damage to an enemy based on your magic, and if the enemy's attack is higher, there's a 20% chance to kill them. Not really a fan of those chances to kill things, even as a newer player to the game. Don't like taking chances when the game's already based on chances. Like, you create your team with your colours based on the chance of them gems dropping, based on the chance of getting a mana surge. And then you don't want to cast a spell with a chance to do something else again. There's too many chance on chance on chance. For me, anyway. Up to you, but you can get lucky and it can be effective. Wand of Stars, say every single time, it's here every single week, but if you got a chance to craft it, you absolutely should. Best weapon in the game, bar none. Create 6 elemental stars, bless all allies, or create 7 umbral stars and curse all enemies. So, bless is awesome. It's like a super cleanse, makes you impervious at the same time, where curse does the opposite. Can apply to impervious troops and make them normal troops, as well as generally creating tons of mana at the same time. Best weapon in the game, and it doesn't even do any damage. Nuts. Absolutely amazing. But it is here every week, so if there's other stuff here which you really fancy, and it'll be gone for ages, remember, then get the other ones first, because Wand of Stars is here. I keep saying his here every single week, so you can pick it up whenever you feel like it. That is important to remember. What is next? We have a Doomed Ring. Sounds like a morning after a potent curry. Give 2 magic to all allies with a +1 per tempering level boost, then give magic +2 armor to purple allies if the enemy has a doom, gain 10 attack. So most effective in a all purple team. This obviously does use a purple, and yeah, it can be good, especially if you've got this tempered up to the max. So that could be a lot of magic on your troops. You can use it as a bonus troop if you like. You can have like a powerful dragon up top, for example, and then summon that explodes gems to get it charged up quicker, and if this gets charged you can make your dragon even more powerful, for example. There's quite a few ways to use this sort of thing, but it's not essential at the same time. What else we got? A Champion's Cleaver. Good old explodey summoning weapon. Explode, magic +1, purple gems, grant a random status effect to all Darkstone allies, then summon a Darkstone troop. Do love it. Mana gen, status effects, and a summon. Really effective, those weapons. Collect them if you can. I still use them today in many teams. Really good. We have a Poisonous Brew. Doesn't sound like the most thought was put into that weapon from the devs. It's poisonous and it's a fluidy thing. What should we call it? I don't know. Poisonous Brew. That'll do. Deal magic +3 damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by Darkstone allies. So yeah, basic damage with a boost. Collectible more than anything. Right, so now onto the troops. As ever, pop through these summoning stones ones, especially if you're a newer player. See what's here. You're looking for empowered troops. They're the ones that start with full mana. You're looking for goblins. They always have an extra turn. This is a goblin here. It's not one of the better ones though. It's alright. Create 2 wish gems, gain an extra turn, and do one of the following. Deal magic +1 true damage to the last 2 enemies, or give magic +1 life to all allies, or explode magic +1 brown gems. So yeah, not one of the best ones, but it's still okay. Where else we got? Apotheosis, say empowered troop. Start battles with full mana. These are very effective in many teams. Convert green gems to skulls and give magic +1 life to the first ally, so it can give you a nice quick start in a skull-based team there, for example. We've got another goblin there, a hobgoblin. Again, not one of the better ones. The best goblins are the ones that do some damage as well as create a load of gems of their own mana colour, like King Gobtruffle, for example, because you're doing damage to the team and looping and getting to do it again. rather than just doing a little bit of damage and an extra turn where basically you're not given a chance to recharge at the same time. But it's, yeah, it's not one of the best ones. It's okay. What else we got here? Nobody's too special in there. Oh, skeleton's pretty good. Another goblin there. Remove a row and deal damage to the first enemy and gain an extra turn. Used to use that in the early days quite a lot. Skeleton though, really good troop. Create 7 skulls, gain armor, and gain an extra turn. So if there's a fair amount of skulls there, you can cast this knowing that basically you've got a chance of matching them skulls, and if they don't match, you've got an extra turn to make it so. So yeah, goblin. Very, very good. Not goblin, skeleton. Very good indeed. And nobody too fantastic from there. So yeah, some pretty cool troops in there today. So have a little look through there and see who you fancy. We're on to the mythics now. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. And first new troop here is Emeraldrin. This is the dragon you can craft on the path to crafting Diamantina. So if you still want to get the Diamantina, you can spend the extra Dragonite to absolutely guarantee getting it. Probably only worth doing if it's the only dragon left you need to craft Diamantina. If you've got the other 5 and this is the last one remaining, it's a guaranteed craft. Yeah, it does cost you extra Dragonite, but it's guaranteed, and it's better than getting just more and more duplicates, which is really, really frustrating. But player's choice. You can get lucky at the same time, open a normal dragon egg and get lucky. But I know what I'd rather do. I'd rather spend the extra Dragonite and get it guaranteed myself, but up to you. But there it is if you want it. Next up we have a Champion of Rot. Deal magic-based damage, and it's a good chunky amount as well. Damage to all enemies, then create a mix of 16. That's a set amount regardless of your magic or player level. Green and red gems boosted by diseased and poisoned enemies. That amount of green and red can be boosted by sickness aura. Disease and poison a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems, because it's boosted by diseased and poisoned enemies. And is impervious as well. So you want a red troop or 2 in your team as well, because you create red. So it does work with itself a little bit. It creates a lot of green, which it uses itself. But a red, you obviously want another troop or 2 in your team to benefit from that. But it is a decent amount of damage to all. And the thing with those spells is as well is they can actually set up the enemy sometimes if they just go wrong and you don't get any matches. And it's like, got to be careful if you use this against a team that uses green or red, because you can actually set them up, which is not the idea of the game. So kind of a bit of a risky one that in certain teams against certain enemies. Grovanger converts all gems of a chosen colour to good gargoyle gems. When they're exploded or destroyed, you get a good status effect to your team, which is really cool. And you can create a lot of them as well, like loads of them. If you convert a colour which is there in its abundance, then you can get an absolutely ridiculous amount of status effects from this thing. Then deal magic-based damage to all enemies of that mana colour and gain an extra turn. The cool thing about this is, but it's kind of bad thing as well, because you have to have a explodey troop or weapon in your team, because you can't match those gargoyle gems. You have to explode them or destroy them. So basically, before casting this, make sure you got a leprechaun or a weapon that explodes, like Mountain Crusher, something like that explodes gems. Don't use it on drown, something like that. You don't want to convert them away. Then you cast a weapon and you destroy all those gargoyle gems, getting an absolute ridiculous amount of decent status effects at the same time, as well as doing damage to those enemies of that colour. So yeah, so basically get it charged up, cast it first, then you explode your weapon using the extra turn, and it can be very, very effective indeed. And does explode 4 good gargoyle gems when matching 4 or more gems, but you don't want to use it that way. You want to make sure that you explode those gems yourself, because if you do this first and the enemy explodes gems, for example, then they're going to get all the status effects instead. So you do have to use it with a little bit of planning ahead. All right, who else do we have? Oh, goodness gracious me, we have Shade of Zorn, one of the most rubbish mythics in the game, if not the most rubbish. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy, like magic +5, boosted by red allies and skulls. If the enemy dies, summon 2 Fists of Zorn. That's it. A single target damage. You mean it does get boosted, but it's still really, really bad. And look at his main trait. Zorn's Fury. Gain 4 mana when I take damage. You have to actually take damage to make effect of the 3rd trait. It's absolutely shockingly bad. and 24 mana cost as well. Ludicrous. Unlike Tina, who is awesome. Deal magic +4 to double magic and a bit true damage to 3 random enemies and gain double magic and a bit armor. Absolutely awesome spell, really cool. And good traits as well, especially the second and third one. Reduce damage from spells by 50% is really good. And electrified plating as well, add 50% of armor to skull damage, which means if you have her up top and you get to cast her, for example, you can gain all the armor and then do some insane skull damage, which is kind of risk versus reward in a way, because she does true damage and obviously skull damage is normal damage. So yeah, up to you. But yeah, absolutely fantastic troop. I like her a lot. And onto the legendaries now. First up we have Media, doing damage to all enemies, enchant all ally daemons, and barrier all ally mystics. And all mystics gain 1 magic on 4 or 5 gem matches. Pretty good. Damage to all. Very useful. Taloka. Oh yeah, mine's full of shiny, so I try to remember what this was before. But still a very good troop. Does scatter damage, and if there's a storm, now mine says deal quadruple damage because I've got mine on full shiny level, but before that was deal triple damage, so do bear that in mind. And also I've got a reduced mana cost as well. Can't remember if that was 15 or 16 before, but I've got a slightly reduced mana cost on that, but it's still pretty nifty. But obviously if you've got a triple shiny, then quadruple damage for me, for example, takes up to what, 17, 20, 28, 228 with that quadruple damage. That's really cool. Very nice troop indeed in certain teams. And who else have we got? We've got Beltane lingering around down here, converting blue gems to green and purple gems to yellow, and give 1 to 3 random status effects to all allies. Not too bad if you've got those colour usage in your team. And Theodorovich, love this troop still. Still one of the best troops in the game, absolutely fantastic, love it. Create a wish gem when my turn begins. A wish gem, when exploded, will give 1 of 5 things. It'll either give all mana to 1 of your troops, all mana to 2 of your troops, all mana to 3 of your troops, all mana to all of your troops, or all mana to all of your troops and all the enemy team at the same time. So 4 out of 5 in your favour, and using the correct team, this thing can be lethal, because there's troops where you can just explode a row or destroy a row off the, straight away with an empowered troop and take out the wish gem immediately. And you've got that 4 out of 5 chance to go in your favour. And if you've got Chrysanthrax or a Maelstrom Dagonath in your team, you can just get rocking and rolling straight away. Obviously, there's the risk versus reward. You could set up the enemy team at the same time, but it's only a 20% chance to happen. The rest of it is entirely in your favour. Theodorovich, absolutely awesome troop. Absolutely love it. And that is it. So who is my mythic of the half week? It's not going to be Champion of Snot, Champion of Snot Rot. Grovandra is actually really good, but it's a bit situational, and you do have to plan your team around it and have explodey troops in your team at the same time, but really good fun with all those status effects. Do use it. And Shadow Zorn, absolutely not. I'm going to give it to Tina, because Tina is viable in so many teams and she can be on her own. You can get a 50% start as well in Mech class, which is really good. And does that true damage, which just goes up and up as you grow with the game. And that armor gain is good as well. And reduced damage from spells by 50% is awesome. So Tina, here's my mythic of the half week. Now onto the raid boss team. Now you must use the event captain Twisted Hag in your team to benefit from that ×2 magic and ×2 score. It is for this event only, but essential to have her in your team. And you get her at tier 2 from the raid boss shop, but buy up to tier 3 because you get a weapon now, which is very handy indeed. Not for this event, but maybe in the future. But at tier 1, because you have to buy these tiers in order, you get the Potion of Enchantment. Enchants all allies at the start of a battle for this event only, but absolutely fantastic. 2 mana to each of your team every single round. And you pick up the other stuff at the same time too. Those raid boss sigils, more troops, more gold, more stuff. And at tier 2, you pick up the Twisted Hag herself, dealing magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by poison gems. And if they're a boss, deal 3 to 5 times damage based on your ascensions, and then curse and inflict bleed on all other enemies. So the higher you have this ascended, the more of that multiplier you're going to get damage on the boss. So very useful for that. But if you're a newer player, don't worry too much about those traits, particularly the Godslayer one. We're not going to be doing skull damage to the boss. We're going to be taking them out with a spell rather easily, so there's no need to spend your valuable trait stones if you're still collecting them for that trait, which you're basically not going to need or use. But pick her up anyway and get her ascended. There's two ways to get her ascended. Basically, buy her from here at tier 2, back out, use 2 orbs of ascension to get her to a mythic level that way. If you're short on those blue orbs on the way to crafting Zor Gloth, for example, then I wouldn't even do that because we're still going to kill the boss fairly easily. The other way to get her to mythic level is basically to buy enough tiers from the shop to get enough copies of her to get her to mythic level that way. And it gives you a load of other stuff at the same time, like more diamonds, more raid boss sigils, and more troops and more potions, which is kind of useful if you go all the way. But yeah, then at tier 3 you pick up a new weapon, the Miasmic Dirk. Give magic +1 attack and life to all Darkstone allies, then bless them. So worth doing that as well. And you get the Potion of Rejuvenation at the same time, which is nice, healing 3 damage for all allies at the start of my turn. Right, so onto the team itself. No mythic team. Very, very easy to use for newer players. But have the Screaming Tome, 2 times Magnus, and the Twisted Hag. Must have her in our team. We'll use that to take out the boss. But this works actually really well with this, and I'll show an alternative as well. But the Screaming Tome does magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Darkstone allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and purple gems for each Darkstone ally. So with all Darkstone allies, that is a heck of a lot of blue and purple. What that's going to do is we've got 3 purple troops here. It's going to feed a heck of a lot of purple into these 3, and Twisted Hag will pick up the blue, which means she can just take out the boss, who's the most dangerous troop we will face when the battle starts. So yeah, absolutely stacks of mana and damage, and Magnus does damage to all, boosted by disease and poisoned enemies, then disease and poison all enemies, and that's helped by Experiment. Inflict a random status effect on 4 or 5 gem matches, and he's impervious as well, which is nice. So we'll be looking to cast him on that damage to all. If an enemy is submerged or anything like that, we've got single target damage with this, so we can bash them with that, and we've got single target damage with this as well. So that dodges the possibility if we face any submerged troops to avoid the damage to all. So we're using 5 out of the 6 colours here, so we're going to go for a -red banner, so we don't use that. So lots of green for the weapon, get that charged up nice and quick, make all that mana, charge the team up, job's done. Extra purple, we've got 3 purple using troops, and -red because we don't care about red. Green Plague Lord for this. We can have Contagion, inflict disease on a random enemy on green gem matches, which we absolutely do. And talent trees, we can have Impact, really handy, inflict stun when enemies deal skull damage to me. Dark Hunger, steal 1 life from the first enemy when matching purple gems, which we'll be doing a lot. Anti-Magic Sphere, reduce damage from spells by 20%, handy. Mana Source, start battles with 50% mana on top of that Potion of Enchantment and the Explosion. We'll be ready to cast absolutely almost straight away. Rock Solid, gain a barrier when matching brown gems. We do that on our team often, so we get a barrier, protects the hero up top. Stone Mastery, gain extra brown, yeah, oh, no, extra purple, that's even better. Gain bonus purple, we like that. And a Fortitude, why not have a bit of immunity to stun, poison, disease, death mark, lycanthropy, and devour. Right, so if you don't have the Screaming Tome, remember it is available in the Soulforge. But Black Manacles wouldn't be a bad shout for this. Doing damage to all enemies with a 20% chance to devour a random enemy. Only thing with that is you're using the same colours as Magnus, which is purple and brown. So you do actually have to look for just purple and brown and blue. So it does reduce the colour options on the board. If you do that, I'd maybe change to Elementalist class, something like that. Protect yourself with that Burn, Stun, Freeze, and Tangle on 4 matches. But I like this because it uses 5 out of 6 colours. And regarding troops, there are some other decent troops we can use in this team as well. Let's have a little look down here. Like if you use a dragon like this, that'd be really powerful. Get that charged up. You can use Thrall. Stick Thrall up top in place of Magnus. And then use Nebladrix here in place of the other Magnus. And just get them charged up with Thrall. Collect purple. Explode. They would destroy them gems and cast away with Nebladrix. That'd be a nice mythic team. Easy way to go about that, but let's concentrate on this one. Jump into a couple of battles. See what happens. I know what's going to happen. We're going to win really easily. I've got 1 Medal of Honor on at the moment and 2 No issues, just to boost the team up. So we can do damage to an enemy there. They're death marked, but we're going to get loads of mana anyway. This gem will inflict poison on all enemy troops. This is the new poison gem. They are green, and basically they change. If they explode, they give poison effect to an enemy. So yeah, you can't match them. You have to explode them. But hey, not a problem. Poison is one of the weaker status effects in the game on what it actually does, but it does have the effect of making some troops a lot more powerful, and the fact that if they're poisoned they can be killed absolutely instantly sometimes, making it lethal. Well, we're going to kill the enemy next round anyway, so let's just bash someone out, create a load of mana, and there's our Magnus ready to rock and roll. Let's do one more, and then we'll jump forward to when things start to get a little bit tougher. So we'll get that weapon up. Always get the weapon up straight away. You're going to do damage to an enemy. Pick on someone that's annoying or beneficial. Like always take out the bird if you can. Extra sigils. Cast Magnus. Job done. This is the early stages, of course, before Maelstrom Dagonath, the stormy version, whatever it is, appears. Thinking he's being all hard and stuff, and then gets slapped into oblivion and made to look like a cold fish. Whatever that is, I have no idea. Well, jumped forward to where Stormy Dagonath starts appearing, but it's going to be absolutely straightforward still. Let's have a look what it does. Obviously, it's invulnerable. It kills an enemy, then creates 4 yellow mana potion gems. So really important to get this thing destroyed straight away, because if those gems match, it can just recharge and do it again, which is annoying when it's you. It's good when it's you against them, but not the other way around. Gains 5 attack when matching skulls. No big deal about that. Does submerge itself when it takes damage though. So if you don't wipe it out in one go, this is where these troops are handy as well, because you can do that single target damage on them even if they're submerged. But let's see how it does. It's gonna do good. I know it's gonna do good. There we go. Didn't have to do anything. Charged up straight away. It's been like that a few games already. Instant charge. Didn't have to make a gem match to get charged and just wipe out the enemy straight away. Oh, we've got a green match down here though. We'll do that and get purple at the same time. Let's bash that thing around and bounce. Tons of purple. That's got Magnus up. See, he's going to dodge this, look. But, alright, little tip here for newer players. Do not take chances with a troop like this. This is going to take 2 turns anyway. The first one, going to cast and get rid of them, him, that thing, there, whatever that is. Owleth. And then that's going to dodge the damage. Even though it's on 0 out of 30... this game can surprise you and just give it a ton of mana and get charged up and cause havoc. So do not take any chances. You can take 2 turns anyway, so get rid of that thing first. Then wipe out the other one. Do you see? On to the next. Do not take chances with that thing at the bottom. Even if it's on no mana. See, now you have to be a little bit careful. So concentrate on getting this one up if you can. He's the last troop. He uses all the mana colours. It's going to get charged up very quickly, because whatever colours you leave it are going to be there to collect. But we've got no blue available, so we'll collect some stuff at our single target killer there and bash him out with a weapon instead. Very handy. Let's just do a couple more, then we'll call the video a day. Had another dicky bird appear, but we're charged up absolutely immediately, so use that to take out one or the other. I'm quite confident that we're going to take out Matey Boy at the bottom there. Again, it's submerged, so it's not going to be killed by this. It's going to take 2 turns to kill it. We may as well grab that because it's there. Kill him first. Take no chances. It's still 2 turns. Just take out the threat first, or the major threat, and then the other ones after. Don't leave him sitting there having a chance to get charged up. Just smash him into oblivion, kaboosh him out of there, and the job is done. Don't even really care too much about taking that, but I will do, because I'm going to get yellow at the same time, which charges up the weapon. And we can bash him out now, because he's submerged anyway, because we're going to do this while casting the weapon. See, it failed to cast then. It failed to get us the mana we wanted, which will happen from time to time. But you're taking no chances. And then we can cast our Magnus, whatever his name is, and crack on. What a busy day. Let's just do a couple more. This is how this is going to work. It's going to be very straightforward most of the time. Right, let's... we've not got too much of our colours there, have we? We might as well have a little bit of that. Let's get some purple and blue. See, now we are going to bash him first, so we can cast this first. Again, it's going to take a minimum of 2 turns. Get rid of him first. Use the second Magnus to take out the second lot. And if you fail to wipe out the enemy's end, just cast the weapon to create water mana again to recharge your Magnuses. And do it again. It's rather groovy. Got this up first again. Look, there's target matey boy down there. See you later, mate. On your bike, on your tricycle, on your skateboard, on your roller skates, whatever form of transport you prefer. Personal transport, that is. Not like a taxi cab. An Uber. See, Uber have done a quite an amazing job, haven't they? Forever, taxi has been known as a taxi when you jump into a car driven by someone else to take you somewhere. Taxi. It's been the go-to term for like the last 1 billion years. But somehow, Uber have done so well, they've kind of changed that to Uber. Should we get an Uber? Taxi, or Uber, is the new taxi. I don't know how I have these random whittles sometimes. These little thoughts just enter my head as I'm playing and making a video, and I'll just carry on with it. I'll just roll with it. And some people find it amusing, I suppose, or interesting. I don't know. But anyway, let's use our weapon to bash matey boy around the bonds, soften him up significantly. Our troop down here like is ready the next round. Again, we're still going to cast 2 rounds minimum with this, so let's get rid of matey boy straight away. He's on 9 out of 30. Not on my watch. Not on my pendant or neck chain either. Do you see? Right. Let's just do one more. I meant to stop a little while ago, but I got carried away talking about random stuff. We've got another bird. Always take out the bird if you can, but it's not as important as taking out matey boy. So that gives us all that juicy mana. Look, I'll go against my grain this time and cast this first, just because I'm living on the edge, the jeopardy of it all. Let's take him out and then cast Magnus. Right, I think that'll do for that. There's the raid boss team. Now onto the Underspire team. Now I'm going to do this slightly differently today, and I'm going to show the Mythic team I'm going to use for this. And the reason is, we can use virtually exactly the same team as what you just used for the raid boss teams. If you're coming to here looking for the no Mythic team, you can use basically the same team that we used in the raid boss team. So we would have this screaming tome for that, as you'd stick that in there and just have some, what's his face, Magnuses. A couple of Magnuses. Where is he? Him there, damage to wall. It's going to get charged up really quickly because of the weapon and the same class as well, giving you that 50% mana start. 2 of them and 1 of anybody else you like. Even a 3rd Magnus would be a good job. Thrall for just quickly charging up the team. If you've got obviously a Mythic troop like your Nibbledrix, you can chuck that in there as well for more damage to wall. So various options, even Scion there doing true scatter damage. And draining mana is pretty good. But we'll look at this one then, and we'll see how this goes. I'm going to go Thrall to destroy a load of gems. I don't really care about the other parts of the spell. This is all about just collecting mana for the team really quickly. And the gain bonus, crikey, my words are going all funny today. Gain bonus purple mana from purple gem matches. Means with a +2 purple banner, we'll get charged up absolutely immediately, even if we don't get a mana surge. Nibbledrix here does enormous damage to all, absolutely fantastic, with a chance of an extra turn. Very, very nice indeed. And we can have Magnus here just for bonus damage if we need it, because basically all the extra brown from Nibbledrix will feed into Magnus, and all the extra purple from Thrall will also feed into Magnus, which is cool, and any extra green from Nibbledrix we get will feed into the weapon here. which explodes purple gems, grants a random status effect or Darkstone allies, and summoned a Darkstone troop. So we even have the safety of a summon in this team. And we can be an Elementalist class. Stun, freeze, burn, and entangle a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. Banner for this, I want to go for the Fanged banner. +2 purple, +1 brown, -1 yellow. But if you don't have that, because it is a warband banner, then just pick a banner which has got +2 purple or -1 yellow, because basically yellow is the only thing we don't use. So make sure you're using something that uses minus yellow if you can. Like scroll over, even that'll do. +2 blue, +1 purple is okay. Not too bad. But make sure, yeah, you set the banner right. But class, Elementalist, we can get that lovely stun, freeze, burn, and entangle a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. And we'll have Snap Freeze, we'll have Insulated, we'll have Stone Circle, we'll have Storm Aura, we'll have Rock Solid, very handy, we'll have Stone Mastery and Fortitude. Let's jump into the fray. Look for purple. As soon as you get purple, be off and running. If you're using the Raid Boss equivalent, just run it the same way as we run the Raid Boss team. There we go, look. Exploding the gems. And the Ebladrix is up. This is going to make short work of this Underspire. Obviously with the other team using Magnus, it'll be slightly slower that way. Well, it might not be, because you might get the gems for the weapon straight away. Cast that and you're already off and running with your mana. I've got my free lantern from Mighty Boy Chin Hat Face. His official name this week. So you don't really care about that, because I want to get purple. And I didn't want to take that and it maybe spoil my purple match. Let the enemy have the joy of their extra turn. You have it. I don't care. And on to the next. So it's be absolutely short work of it this way. But you can use virtually the same Raid Boss team. No purple. That's what you use for Raid Boss. Make it all rather straightforward. Want to give me yet another yellow 4 match? What the fidgety fudge? I do not want yellow. You know, sometimes you get the extra turns and the 4 matches with the only colour you don't use sometimes. That's why I kind of like to use teams that use as many of the colours as possible. A lot of players sometimes say, oh, the game ripped them off, or it made the game slower by giving them all the colours they didn't use and stuff like that. But if you use all the colours, then the game can't do that. What it does instead is, say you continuously didn't get a mana surge, for example, to slow you down that way. Do some people feel that, or am I imagining it? Sometimes it actually kind of feels like the battles go in a certain way at certain points, just to slow you down a little bit. It's like the game doesn't want you to fly through the battles really quickly sometimes, because slowing you down a bit can obviously benefit the game in a way, because it stops you getting things done quicker. You have to play the game more to get those things done. Or am I just imagining things? I don't know. So have a good thing about having Magnus there as well. If we get a summon like we did there, we can take out that summoned troop. Right, last battle. God, got a claggy throat this morning. And get that, so that's not going to mess up the purple over here. And that makes it an absolute certainty that our dragon's going to get up. Yeah, so there it is. There's the video for today. If you enjoyed it, found it useful or helpful, it'd be really cool if you bashed that like and subscribe button. Like it, hype it, all that malarkey. All helps an absolute ton, and I appreciate it. But thanks for watching, and bye for now.